Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 4 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's. Also by DeBlois Electric, building lasting relationships since 1967. From homes to businesses, their licensed, fully trained technicians handle it all. Repairs, upgrades, standby generators, EV chargers, heat pumps, and more. No job is too big and no job is too small. Learn more at DeBloisElectric.com.
Our guest today is Maine author Jennifer Braunfels. Her first novel is titled Everything You Love Ends Up in a Yard Sale. There will be a book launch celebration on Wednesday, May 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Edward Little High School. It is free, open to the public, and will feature Jennifer sharing stories, insights, and inspiration for the book.
Very cool.
Yes. Before we get to all that, let's take a look at some headlines for Wednesday, March 25th.
Governor Mills signed an act regarding energy fairness into law, which will require state utility regulators to focus on lowering consumer energy costs. The law requires a review of electric delivery rates to determine if there are ways to contain consumer costs and improve bill transparency.
Senator Angus King joined colleagues in introducing the Back Home Act. The legislation aims to create a pilot program to allow the Department of Veterans Affairs to provide mental health services to incarcerated veterans. It would assist veterans with a service-connected disability for post-traumatic stress injuries, traumatic brain injury, or military sexual trauma.
The City of Lewiston is inviting residents to attend its fiscal year 2027 budget workshop tomorrow at 6 p.m. at City Hall. Topics will include social services, the library, debt, and municipal revenues. The full agenda is available at lewistonmaine.gov. Those who cannot attend can watch the live stream on the city's YouTube channel.
And the City of Auburn is offering senior property tax assistance to help eligible seniors with property tax relief. If funded by the council, approved applicants may receive up to $1,000. The application deadline is April 15th, and you can learn more at auburnmaine.gov. Now it's time for the weather.
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
Partly sunny today with a high of 45 and a low of 28. Cloudy tomorrow with some evening rain with a high of 59 and a low of 36. And mostly sunny on Friday with highs approaching 50.
I like that forecast.
A little bit better. Getting there. We're getting there.
I made the mistake of looking at next week.
Yep, snow.
Snow. Looks like 3 to 4 inches in the middle of next week, but it's way too early to tell for sure.
Yeah, I hope it'll warm up a few degrees and not be snow.
That'd be great.
Over the snow. Over it.
Let's switch the subject.
Good idea.
In sports, the Bruins lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs last night, 4-2. Boston will visit the Buffalo Sabres tonight at 7:30.
The Celtics host the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at 7:30.
The Red Sox open their season on the road tomorrow. They'll take on the Cincinnati Reds at 4 p.m., with Garrett Crochet getting the opening day start.
In the NCDC Dineen Cup playoffs, the Lewiston Maniacs visit the Connecticut Chiefs North tonight at 7:30 and tomorrow at 3:30 in Biddeford.
And the Maine Nordiques will visit the Philadelphia Rebels on Friday and Saturday. That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now it's time for the podcast segment that is Sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for March the 25th, shall we?
Sure. Sure.
All right. We're going to start off with Catherine McPhee, who is 42 years old today. She was the runner-up on the 5th season of American Idol.
How old was she then? 4?
I think she was 5. Her debut album reached number 2 on the Billboard 200 and sold 381,000 copies.
Not too shabby.
Nope. She has established an acting career as well. She was in The House Bunny and Shark Night 3D.
I've never heard of those.
Me neither. And I was wondering, Pam, if you could even consider yourself an actor if you haven't appeared in a shark movie.
Right?
Right?
I mean,
You got to have one of those on your resume.
100%.
She also made her Broadway debut as Jenna in Waitress in 2018.
Very cool. Multi-talented. I
Yes.
guess.
Sarah Jessica Parker, 61 years old today. Her career has spanned over 5
Wow.
decades. She's been in a lot of films. Her debut was in 1984 in Footloose.
Great movie.
Yes, she was also in L.A. Story with Steve Martin, Honeymoon in Vegas, Hocus Pocus, Ed Wood, and Mars Attacks. But I think most of us
Yes.
know her as Carrie Bradshaw in the comedy drama series Sex and the City, which she starred in from 1998 to 2004, and the subsequent movies, Sex and the City, which came out in 2008, and Sex and the City 2 in 2010.
Those did pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah.
She has also been labeled a fashion icon with her style and fashion ventures.
And her and Matthew Broderick have been married forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah.
And here I am spouting off about famous people. What do I know? Mary Gross is 73 years old today. She's a voice actress and a comedian known for her 4-year stint on Saturday Night Live from 81 to 85 and her recurring role as Sabrina's favorite teacher, Mrs. Quick, in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which she starred in from 97 to 2000. And her other credits include Animaniacs, Boston Legal, That's So Raven, and 6 Feet Under.
Alrighty.
Bonnie Bedelia, 78 years old today. Her career began in theater in the 1960s. She's been in a bunch of films as well. I know her best as Mrs. John McClane from the Die Hard movies.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah, she was also in Heart Like a Wheel, The Prince of Pennsylvania, Presumed Innocent, and Needful Things.
Ooh, Needful Things.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
How about this guy, Elton John?
Hey, I know him.
You know him. He's 79 years old today. His music and showmanship have had a significant lasting effect on the music industry. He's sold over 300 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. His life and career were dramatized in the 2019 biographical film Rocket Man. He has had more than 50 top 40 hits on the UK singles charts and US Billboard Hot 100, including 9 number ones in both countries. He's the most successful solo artist in the history of the US Billboard charts. His tribute single to Diana, Princess of Wales, Candle in the Wind, 1997, a rewritten version of his 1974 single, sold over 33 million copies worldwide. Elton was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1992 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994.
All right. Do you have a favorite song?
I love Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. I like the upbeat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of his rockin' tune there.
Hakuna Matata?
Hakuna Matata. Did he write that?
I was looking through songs, and Hakuna Matata is listed. So
Oh my
maybe.
goodness.
Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, they're all so good.
Yeah, they
He's
are.
just, what an incredible artist. What a career.
Yeah.
And rounding out FPBs for March the 25th is film critic Gene Shalit, who is 100 years old today.
Oh, triple digits.
Yes, he has also worked as a journalist, a TV personality, and a book critic, and he's also an author. And by the way, he's retired, which at 100, maybe you should be.
I guess.
Right?
That's when I predict I'll be able to retire. So
That's when I think a lot of us think we'll be able to afford to be retired when we reach 100 years
Right.
old. Yeah. If you're not familiar with Gene, he was a familiar face on NBC's Today Show from the early 70s until he retired in 2010.
Wow.
And he's known for his frequent use of puns and his comical appearance, which consists of an oversized handlebar mustache, fuzzy hair, large glasses, and colorful bow ties.
There are people, or there are listeners right now. They're like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Right. Yeah.
What a job! I want that job. Can I critique other people's work for a living?
That'd be great. Just sit back, pour yourself a beverage, and
This is
I've seen better. Get this out of my face. Those are your FPBs. Now it's time for some OTDs. It happened on this day. It happened on this day. It happened on this day. I'd love to hear your critique of that song.
A+. Didn't you get a raise for that song?
I think I did. Huge bonus.
2 years ago, 2024, federal agents raided homes belonging to Sean Diddy Combs in Los Angeles and Miami as part of an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. And he pretty much got away with it.
Like they all do.
Meh. 24 years ago, in 2002, The Bachelor premiered on ABC. 24 years ago. We've been watching that crap for almost 25 years? How is that possible? Wow.
Do you watch The Bachelor?
I've watched some. I don't have to watch all of them.
Yeah.
I've watched probably 2 or 3 Bachelors and probably another 2 or 3 Bachelorettes. And that's enough for me.
What about The Golden Bachelor?
I did start watching that one, and it was just too weird.
Yeah.
Us old people need to find love too sometimes, but it was weird. 25 years ago, in 2001, Julia Roberts won the Best Actress Oscar for Erin Brockovich, and Russell Crowe won Best Actor for Gladiator, which was also that year's Best Picture. 32 years ago, in 1994, D2, The Mighty Ducks was released.
A favorite of our local hockey players.
Yeah, the D2 or the original?
I think the original, and a few of them mentioned D2 as well.
All right.
Yeah.
35 years ago, in 1991, Dancing with Wolves won Best Picture. Joe Pesci won Best Supporting Actor for Goodfellas. Kathy Bates won Best Actress for Misery. And Whoopi Goldberg won Best Supporting Actress for Ghost. That was a great year for movies.
Star-studded
Yeah.
Oscars, no doubt about
Did
it.
you go see Misery at the Public Theater?
Yes.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
was
They did
so
a
well
really good
done.
job. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Loved the movie, loved
spinning
the
stage.
book. And did not hesitate to get tickets to the Public Theater for that one.
That was cool. 36 years ago, in 1990, Tommy Lee was arrested for exposing his buttocks during a Georgia concert.
Haven't we seen enough of Tommy Lee from the waist down? I think America's probably all set with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
43 years ago, in 1983, this is a heavy movie listed on this day.
Yep.
In 1983, The Outsiders was released, starring such unknowns such as Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe, Matt Dillon, Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Diane Lane, Ralph Macchio, and C. Thomas Howell as Pony Boy.
Never heard of any of those people.
No, who are those people?
Bunch of hacks.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing. 57 years ago, in 1969, 5 days after getting married, John Lennon and Yoko Ono began their bed-in for peace in an Amsterdam hotel room. That's how you promote peace. You just stay in bed.
Yeah, I mean, who knew?
I'm going home. And finally, 58 years ago, in 1968, the 58th and final episode of The Monkees aired.
I loved that show.
I have never seen an episode.
Really?
I can hear the song. What is it?
Hey,
we're the Monkees.
That's
Yeah.
the one. A lot of debate as to whether or not they actually played their instruments or actually sang.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They stopped before they got caught. They're like, technology is getting too much now. We're going to get busted.
Yeah, I believe they did.
Let's hand this over to Milli Vanilli.
They'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Those are your FPBs and OTDs for March 25th. Don't miss the 6th annual Cora Shriners Outdoor Expo at the Cora Shrine Center in Lewiston. It all happens on Saturday, April 11th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 12th from 9 to 2. And best of all, admission is free. Check out over 100 incredible carvings from the Maine Woodcarvers Association and vote for your favorite. And don't miss the Bangs for Your Bucks auction on Saturday, a 21-plus event featuring over 25 amazing items, including vacation packages, spa experiences, and more. Get all the details at corashriners.org/events.
Hi, it's Donna Harris from Phoenix No Limits Karate here with your daily safety tip. Teach your kids to never chat online with anyone that they haven't met. Let's all do our best to keep our community safe.
Dirigo Federal Credit Union is proud to call Lewiston Auburn home. Whether you're buying a house, saving for the future, or growing your business, we're here for you, right where you live. Visit dirigofcu.com and feel the difference of a credit union that truly knows LA.
As promised, we are joined by author Jennifer Braunfels. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We are very excited to have you here. You just published your first novel.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. And we just learned when you came in here, we are the first stop on your promotional tour.
Yes, you are.
Ha-ha. And this is your first podcast.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So we're making history here today.
We really are.
We love it. The title of Jennifer's novel is Everything You Love Ends Up in a Yard Sale. And I think just about everyone in Maine can relate to that, right?
Yes.
We're going to get to the bottom of that title and a whole lot more coming up. But first, Jennifer, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of background on yourself and how you became a writer.
Well, I think something that is near and dear to my heart is that I've been a teacher here in Auburn for 28 years at the high school. So I get to interact with kiddos every day and try to help them become better writers and learn the craft of writing creatively, not just the typical essays that you would have to write in high school. So that's a big part of my life. And I just have been that kind of nerdy kid my whole life that loved reading and loved writing. And as a kid, I would make books all the time and put my name and just think, oh, when I grow up, that's what I want to do. And so I just decided to go for it.
There you go. Creative writing at EO is one of my favorite classes.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're living a dream right now.
It's very much a dream that I've had my whole life.
Do you remember the first piece you ever wrote that got some kind of attention?
So I've published a few short stories. Recently, I've published a lot of memoir pieces about my experiences that I've had with breast cancer. My next book is going to be a collection of short pieces that I've written about that experience. So I'm really looking forward to that.
How did that shape your writing?
I can tell you I was sitting in the chemo chair and I had one of those moments where I did not know if I was going to get better after treatment or not. And it kind of makes you take stock of your life when you go through something like that and you're sitting in a chair for 8 hours hooked up to poison going into your body, and it makes you sort of question, like, what is my purpose here? And I thought back while I was sitting there to this book that I wrote back in 2014.
Wow.
And you know how it is. You write something and then you put it in a drawer. And going through chemo, I just said, this is it. It is now or never. So I pulled the writing out, sent it to an editor out in Las Vegas. She edited the whole thing, sent it back to me. And I made this decision where I said I'll send it out to some smaller indie presses because it's really hard to get published today. And so I sent it out to 3 different places. And it sounds crazy, but I honestly forgot that I had sent it out because I just assumed, and I gave myself a deadline of 1 year. And I said, if no one picks up this book within a year, I am just going to self-publish because life is short. And then last March, I got this email that said, this is so-and-so from Apprentice House Press, and we loved your book and we want to publish it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
I didn't believe it at first. I was, scrolling through the internet and looking to make sure this wasn't a scam because I was sure this was a scam. And sure enough, it's the real deal.
That's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
How would you describe your writing style, Jen?
I would say my writing style is I like to throw humor in there. That's just my personality. And I think with any good writer, your personality comes through. So humor is a big part of everything that I write because it's what gets us through the bad times, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can appreciate some humor.
We can.
Sure.
And I just want to share this with you very quickly. I perform stand-up comedy, and I shared with you before we started recording that my wife is also a breast cancer survivor, and she's been an oncology nurse for 30 years. And after she got through her treatment, I do a lot of autobiographical material on stage, and she asked me if I was going to joke about her cancer, and I said, absolutely not. Why would I do that? And she goes, I kind of want you to.
Right.
Because if we can laugh at it, she says, I get some of my life back.
Absolutely.
It takes cancer's power away, in a sense, or for that moment in time.
It does, because cancer makes everyone powerless, not just the person going through it, the spouse, the kids, everybody goes through it, right? And so to be able to throw some humor into that, it really does help you reclaim that power, because it is you are so powerless. You do not have a lot of choices or decisions. You just kind of do what they tell you to do in order to survive. And so absolutely, to throw humor in there is one of the things that got me through.
Yeah. Where does your sense of humor come from?
I don't know. Some people might joke it's childhood trauma. I was the fun. I'm
Sounds
kidding.
about right. I'm like, yeah, that makes
Right?
sense.
That's where most of it comes from. I think.
Right? I don't know. I've just, I don't know. Everybody has always just said that I'm sort of funny. Some people think I tell a lot of dad joke kind of jokes and have that kind of humor, but I love making people laugh.
Yeah.
Does that work in the classroom at all?
Sometimes. Sometimes my students think I'm really funny, and then other times they have that look on their face like, that was a real dad joke just then, So sometimes it works, sometimes it does not.
And what inspired you to become an educator?
Actually, I was going to graduate from college. I had been to school for 4 years just with an English degree, and I was getting ready to graduate, and I thought, what does someone do with an English degree? And I really didn't know. And at the time, I got this part-time job as an ed tech up at Orono Middle School, and they assigned me this one kiddo, and we worked one-on-one. And he was just a kid that came from nothing. And he and I just spent a lot of time together and built up this relationship together. And at the end of the school year, I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to help kids, not just the writing and the reading and the grades and things like that, but just to try to make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the novel. Everything You Love Ends Up in a Yard Sale. Love the title. Where did it come from?
I just love this idea that we have things in our lives. We accumulate people and objects, and we decorate our homes with these things, and we think that these things define us. But these are just things that when we're gone are going to get passed on, brought to the Goodwill, given to relatives and things like that. And so in the end, it's just stuff. And I just want to explore this concept that, we are more than just our stuff, and that sometimes when you let go of things, and whether that be people, places, objects, that clears space for you to just bring new and different things into your life.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where the title came from.
So what can you tell us about the story?
Yeah.
I think the story is just going to be for anyone who has ever disrupted their life in any way or tried to transform their life in any way, because it's scary to make big changes in your life. However, that is how we grow. That is how we find new experiences and things like that. And yeah.
Where did the characters come from in your book?
That's a really good question. I think any author will tell you that a little bit of yourself goes into the characters and the people around you. So the main character, the protagonist, is probably who I needed to be back at that time. She's a woman who is questioning things and thinking about, blowing up these certain parts of her life. And in a lot of ways, I think I wrote this book as a way to give myself permission to sort of blow up my life and to see what happened.
You've written short stories before,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And this is your first novel.
Yes.
When did you know it was time to write a novel?
Sitting in that chemo chair made me want to publish it. I mean, to write this novel is a whole different story. It started out as a piece of nonfiction that I wrote about this big life event that happened all those years ago. So it started out as sort of a memoir piece, and then sometimes memoir is just too close to the heart. And I knew I wanted to write about it, but I had to throw that fiction element into it because it was just too soon and too close. And so it ended up being this short story, this one scene from the book, and I brought it to my writers group, and they said, no, this is the end of a novel. You need to start building around this.
They're like, you got something here.
Yeah, and I didn't think I had anything there, but the more chapters that I wrote, the more these characters started coming to life. And I used to listen to interviews with other authors, and they would say, oh, it's so, I never know what the characters are going to do next. And I thought, what is that? I'd spent my whole life writing like, this is the beginning, middle, end. This is what's going to happen. And with this, I really did just let the characters kind of guide the story. And it was kind of surprising to see where everyone ended up.
So when you pulled it out of the drawer after all the years, like how much work did you have to put back into it? Or, you had to reignite it, I assume, and dust it off. And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And when I wrote it, I thought, this is going to be a bestseller. It's wonderful. And then I took it out of the drawer and I was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever written in my life. So I had to breathe some life into it. I had to add some elements that weren't there before and sent it off to my editor, and she had some great suggestions as well. So from where this came, from whence it came, it is nothing like the original piece that I wrote.
Yeah.
And so many things, have been added to it. It is nothing like that original piece.
Isn't that funny how that happens?
Yeah.
I used to love writing poetry, as a, in high school and then as a young adult. And I had a poetry book, and I ended up typing all of them and saving them digitally. And I think I lost the files, which was so disheartening. So it's like, you're lucky you had it on paper.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I'm a purger. I love to get rid of my stuff. I don't want all my stuff.
Yep.
So I kind of regret getting rid of some of my stuff because I put it digitally, and I don't know if I can ever find it. So, but it's so cool. I was just curious, because I imagine if I found it again, I'd read back some of it almost cringeworthy, like, oh, I thought that was good.
Yes. Yep.
I do want to read just a piece off of the back cover to give our listeners a little hint as to what's coming, because this book hasn't been released yet.
It has not. It does not drop until May 5th.
I have an advance copy here, Pam.
You do.
$50.
Didn't I give that to you earlier?
All right. It says, Grace knows her boyfriend is hiding something from her, but she hasn't figured out what it is. Yet, against her better judgment, she convinces herself that moving to a coastal town in Maine for a year with Liam will salvage their flailing relationship.
I hope this is a book that a lot of different people will be able to relate to, because I think at some point in our lives, we outgrow certain things and certain people, and we have these transformations, and it's not always a simple transformation. Sometimes it's really messy and it's not very linear, and so this book sort of explores that. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just keep trying. Yeah. So I think that's going to resonate, I hope, with a lot of different people.
Are these characters people you know?
It's funny. I had one of my aunts read this book to do some final edits and whatnot, and she brought it back and she said, well, I think this is this person and this is this person. And I thought, well, not really, because I wrote this book 14 years ago, but Grace is sort of this character that I hope a lot of people will be able to relate to, where she has always just kind of settled for second best in a lot of things, and she finally gets to a point in her life where she decides that she deserves more than that. And then the other protagonist in the story, Annie, she is based on all of the strong women in my life. My mom was one of 13 kids.
Oh, wow.
And so I have a lot of aunties, and they are very strong-willed women who will tell you like it is. And that is a quality that I always wanted growing up, but I wasn't that kind of kid. I just wasn't. But they tell you like it is. And so I think her character is just this collection of all of the strong women that I've encountered in my life who just will tell you how it is.
Yeah. It must be so fun to like write around that. Like, okay, this is going to be Aunt Dawn over here, and then this part of the book that's going to pull this personality for that one character.
It's fun. It's a little bit frightening though, because I don't want people to read this and think, oh, well, I think that character is based on me and I don't like the way that I'm portrayed. So that, in one of the final edits of this book, I had to go back and make sure that, the characters were generic enough so that people did not look for themselves in the book. Because ultimately it's fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think many authors kind of write from experiences, though, so it's hard not to pull in personality traits of people that you're close to or things like that. So,
yep.
What do your students think of it?
They are excited for me. A lot of them have said, I've already ordered your book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble and whatnot. And so it was just great to bring in the first copy of the book. And I just had it on my desk because, again, I was going through the last editing process. And the kids, they were like, that's a real book. Miss Braunfels, that's like a real, actual book. And I'm like, yes, that's actually what's happening here. It's a real book. And so they are excited. And I hope that some of my students will look at this and not wait until they are 50 years old to publish their work, or at least try to get it out there in the world. I want them to be brave and to put their work out there.
I'm sure that's inspired some of them to be like, oh, I can do something like this. That would be so neat. And
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And let's build on that for a second, Jennifer. What would your other advice be to young writers or older writers that feel they have something to offer?
I would say just get it out there in the world. Put as many eyes on it as you can. Join a writer's group, have your friends read it. Anything that you're writing, have a lot of different eyes on it, because I will oftentimes write things and think, this is the best thing I've ever written. And then I will let my best friend read it, and she will write back, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, So I would say to my students, just be brave and get your work out there and see what people think of it, and just keep working at it.
Yeah.
And now with technology, I don't think there's ever been a better time to be an independent artist of any kind.
Yep.
You're able to promote yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Take us back to the day, Jennifer, where you held your book in your hands for the first time.
That was just the best day. I came home, this very plain cardboard box sitting on the counter that my son had brought in, and just, slicing open the top and taking off the paper on top and just seeing my book as an actual book was just amazing.
Yeah, it must have been fulfilling.
It was so fulfilling, and I did get a little bit emotional because, again, sitting in that chemo chair, you never know what's going to happen, and so to see something that I just so desperately wanted to do sitting in that chair to show up as an actual physical object just meant the world to me.
Yeah.
I love the cover art. Did you design the cover?
I designed this with someone from Apprentice House Press. I had free reign as to what I was looking for, and so I spent a lot of time in bookstores and online looking at covers and sort of researching what is trending, what is popular, what is out there. And I knew immediately that because there's a lot of humor in this book on top of some pretty deep, heavy subjects, I wanted bright colors. I wanted to be inviting for people. So that's why I picked the bold colors and the bold lettering. And then I had to have some elements of true Maine on the cover. I said there has to be a lobster. I don't care. I don't care what, but there has to be a lobster.
That is a non-negotiable.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you for not including snow.
Yeah.
Right?
On the cover.
This is a much more enjoyable time of Maine
Exactly.
on the cover.
Yes.
Absolutely. This seems like an unfair question because the book hasn't been released yet, but what's next?
No, that's a really good question. And I have been writing a lot of short pieces about my experience going through cancer and treatment. And it's funny because when I was going through that, I thought to myself, I will never write about these experiences. I want to be done. I want to ring the bell at the end and walk away from this and
Never
move
look
on.
back. Yeah.
But I have found that writing about it and going back and revisiting it has been so healing for me. I didn't really realize the magnitude of what I had been through until after.
Yeah.
Going through it, for me, I just put my head down to get through every day. And so to come out on the other side and want to write about these experiences, like I said, it's just been so cathartic and just so healing for me. And I really want to get that work out there into the world, because when I was going through my treatment, I would look online all the time for examples of short stories and novels and or whatever. I was just looking for stuff that people had written who had been through what I had been through, and there just wasn't a lot out there. And so I'm hoping my next collection of short stories, or maybe it'll turn into a memoir, I'm not sure. I want that to inspire people and to give them hope to not give up.
Who are some of your favorite authors?
I am really into Lily King right now. I went to one of her book signings at Bailey Library in Winthrop not too long ago, and she seems to be at this part of her career where she's just, starting to really, really blossom. She's had a lot of books published, and she was going on a book tour, and I really love her work. There's a lot of voice in it, so she's one of my big...
Any relation to Stephen?
I don't think so. I don't think so, no.
Jennifer, is there anything else about the book or your other work that you would like our listeners to know?
I love that this book is based in Maine, because Maine is the place that people come to get away from it all, and so I just thought this would be a perfect setting for a novel, because aren't we all just trying to figure it all out, right?
Yes.
And so I thought Maine would be a great backdrop for a story about transformation.
Do you have to get in a certain headspace to write? Do you force yourself to write, or do you just wait for inspiration?
So there are writers out there like Stephen King, and his thing is he gets up every day and he writes for 2,000 words, no matter what, even if it's just random. And that does not work for me. I would love to think that, I just don't have the time for it, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's just some days I just wake up and I have an idea in my head and I just have to get it down on paper. And that type of writing is the writing that usually ends up being finished products. Right? Instead of just, random thoughts on a page, if I wake up with this idea in my head that I just have to get down on paper, that's where the good stuff comes from for me.
Do you have a writing space that you go to?
It's funny because I have this room that I designed as a, quote, study, end quote, with a bookshelf and, books and an antique desk and all of the things that you would think that an author would have. And 9 times out of 10, it's just me sitting at my dining room table very early in the morning before the kids are up, before the hustle and bustle of the day. That's when I get my best writing done.
Can you give folks your website one more time, please?
Yep, it's Jennifer Braunfels,
Maine.com.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the LA area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Uncle Andy's Digest is turning 30, and you're invited to celebrate with us. Join us Friday, May 22nd from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn Auburn Riverwatch for a night of celebration. For 3 decades, Uncle Andy's Digest has been Central Maine's community-focused monthly advertising publication, connecting local businesses with loyal readers. Enjoy 90s music from Palo Entertainment, hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar, and recognition of our longest-running advertisers, and much more. Find all the details in the latest issue of Uncle Andy's and on Facebook. We can't wait to see you there.
Jennifer, we like to close out the show with a segment called 3 Random Questions, where Pam and I are going to ask you questions that have nothing to do with your work.
Okay.
We just want to try to get to know you a little better.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Jennifer, if you had a time machine and you could go back to the past or ahead to the future for one day, where would you go and why?
I think I would go to the past when I was a little kid growing up out in Litchfield, Maine, rural Maine, where I just did not have a care in the world. My biggest worry was what was going to be for lunch and just out playing in the woods and riding bikes. And I think that's such a great time in life, and we don't appreciate it when we're that age. I would love to have moments of just peace like that again.
And we thought it was going to last forever.
Right?
did.
Right.
We couldn't wait to be older.
Right. Yeah.
I know.
And I love the quote, youth is wasted on the young.
It's true.
It is true.
Absolutely.
So true.
You don't know how good you have it.
Exactly.
All right. If you could take a vacation anywhere, where would your first choice be, excluding Maine?
I have always wanted to go to Germany. My dad's side of the family came from there, and so that is just one place that I want to go to. And that's another thing, sitting in the chemo chair, I thought, I have not traveled.
Right.
Where do I want to go?
Yeah.
And so I started making a giant list, and we took a group of students to Iceland last April break, and that was absolutely amazing. Absolutely. And it was sort of a do-over trip because I was supposed to go on a trip in 2023 to travel with a group of students. My suitcase was packed. We were going to Germany and the Swiss Alps. And then I got the call that I had breast cancer. And we were supposed to leave on a Tuesday. I got that call on a Monday, and they said, go home and unpack your bags. You've got to start chemo on Friday.
Wow.
So I do want to get back to Germany, and I do want to get back to Switzerland to make up for the trip that I didn't get to go on. Yeah. But I'm going with a bunch of brave teachers this April to London and Paris and Ireland. And so, again, just living out that dream of life is short and I'm going to see it all.
Book the trip.
Yep.
One thing I learned, I worked for the Dempsey Center for about 6 or 7 years. One thing I learned about cancer survivors is they have their priorities in order.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You sit around your whole life saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it really lets you know that life is fleeting and to do the things that bring you joy today. And even if they're scary things, to jump in and just try.
Thank you for sharing that. It was one of the great privileges of my life to interview cancer survivors on a regular basis. I learned a lot.
The Dempsey Center is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, Jennifer, final question. If there was a movie made about your life, what would be the one scene that people talked about on the way home?
The one scene that they would talk about on the way home. I'm not sure there's a particular scene, but I would hope that they would look back at my life and just see how much I loved life. I loved my children. I loved my friends. That's another thing about this novel that, just explores female friendships, because those are the ones that get me through every single time. The highs, the lows, the goods, the bads. My gal pals, my tribe of women are always there, and they always get me through. And so I would want them to look back at the whole movie, really, and just say, that is one person who tried to enjoy life.
You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on your first novel, and we look forward to more.
Thank you very
much. Great work from you. She is Jennifer Braunfels. The book is going to be released on May 5th.
Yes.
Congratulations on kicking off your press tour.
I would not have started my press tour anywhere else.
Love it. And congratulations on finishing up your first ever podcast.
Thank you.
There will be more.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks to Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and DeBlois Electric for sponsoring today's episode. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam Ashby. She's right over there via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat. And I will say I have bitten my cat.